Since I've done a video specifically on AI and coding, and then to me, it's something that's become like part of my like daily life over the last like 6 months or so. Like yeah, I'd say about 6 months. I don't code without AI at this point. Like I don't know, like it's just how it is. Like it's just so much easier right up front. And then so like I still see though a lot of people asking the big question, which is like what how good is AI overall at coding, like, and then like what models do you use for certain like programming languages, etc. And so I'll kind of just cover this in this video as we go through it. And then so essentially what I'm going to do throughout this video, like I haven't set up any of this beforehand. I haven't gone through any of it. I don't know how, like this could be a complete bust for all I know, right? Like what I'm going to do is we're going to create an app from scratch. And then I'm just going to like do it like I normally would, essentially using the AI, but I'll just narrate through what exactly I'm doing and go through that process. So starting off, I have an idea for an app, right? And then so I have a company which is the corporate Iron Dome, and then their products is related to like monitoring services, and then like corporate monitoring services with like AI flair is how I put into it. But like so, my approach within that is that not everything is AI or ML based. And it doesn't have to be based off of AI or ML very specifically. But in this instance, what I'm thinking of is what that company currently doesn't have, and I've kind of stayed away from it honestly, like because it kind of irks me and it wears me out a little bit. But it's something that I like. It's a part of a package within this industry that I'm operating in, which is kind of like I'm going to call it productivity management. Like logging like keyboard strokes, things like that of employees, right? Like so, say you have a employee-owned, corporate-owned computer and software, and you know, like they can kind of do whatever and get away with kind of whatever they want with that. There's a lot of, and it's kind of like a base within any sort of package or like anyone that operates within this similar industry that I have the corporate Iron Dome operating within, they offer this as a service, and so I don't currently, and so like I should have a product around it, right? So let's do that, and we'll do that here. We'll do it live. I'll show you exactly how I'm doing it and what exactly goes into it and how to build it. So the very first point that we want to start off with is like, so I have this idea, right? That's all I have is this idea. We're gonna productivity app, right? Productivity tracking app. That's all I know though, right? Like, and then so I don't know much beyond architecting out beyond that. That's like literally all I have in my head at this point. So step number one is going to be like brainstorming out like what the end result of this is going to look like. Like so before we code anything out, like to me, coding overall is just logic problems, right? Like we're constructing a object or an app in this instance, and then we're constructing it out of code, and then so but the code could be like building blocks, like widgets. And then so we're essentially constructing widgets out of widget, like a big widget, and then we're constructing it out of Legos, and we want to have what our end result widget is going to look like in the end, right? And so we want to start there. And so all I know at this point is that we just want it to be a productivity tracker app. But I don't know what that looks like as far as a widget. Like, what is our end widget actually looking like? I don't know. So we're going to start by like, brainstorming that out. And then so we could pick any model for this, but I'm going to pick Bard, right? Like to me, like Bard's creative. And so like for brainstorming type tasks, like I just happen to like to use Bard. So we're going to start here, and then we're going to say, kind of just like tell Bard exactly what we're doing, right? Say I would like, give me a sec, I'll type it out and then I'll narrate it out. Cool. So to me, this seems like a good and easy place to start with our brainstorming, right? Which is, I'd like to create a productivity tracker application that monitors things like keystrokes and app usage. What are the typical approaches that existing software applications take to handle this, and what metrics do they typically measure? Very concise, but then also like this is like straight and to the point. Like this is very clear as far as what I'm looking for, right? And that's kind of how I try to treat my prompting. Existing applications handle monitoring and metrics in various ways, each with its advantages and limitations. Here's a breakdown of typical approaches. Monitoring, direct API access. Some apps access OS APIs to directly track app usage, window titles, and even foreground focus. This can be accurate but raise privacy concerns. Yep, I agree. Screen recording. Apps can record screenshots at intervals, capturing active windows and applications. This provides visual context, but can be resource intensive and less precise for background activity. And it's, I don't know, it's just kind of intrusive, right? Accessibility APIs again. Utilizing built-in accessibility features offers a non-invasive way to track app names and focus changes. However, it might not capture detailed activity within apps. Maybe, but probably not, because I want to stay away from APIs, right? Keyboard and mouse hooks. Monitoring keystrokes and mouse clicks can infer activity and track focused applications. While powerful, it's crucial to be transparent and handle privacy concerns delicately. That's what we're going to go with up front, like I already know. Metrics, time spent, basic metric showing how long users spent in specific applications or on overall tasks. App switching tracks frequency of switching between applications, potentially indicating distraction or multitasking. Active time, website visits, document edits and creations, custom goals, privacy concerns, definitely. Resource usage, monitoring can drain battery and system resources. That's a good thing to watch out for there and to keep out with as we build this. Accuracy and integrations. I can see all those things being important here. Let's take a look at other drafts, which are probably going to be just, most of the same thing. Oh, Pomodoro. Okay, so it gives us a different one. Pomodoro technique tracks focus work intervals and breaks, encourages focus work but doesn't. Okay, this is interesting, right? This is why I like to go with more drafts, and this is one of the reasons why I like to go with Bard. Let's see. Cool. So looking through these drafts, right, this approach here, it catches my eye. I don't know anything about this, right? And so again, this is why I'm good. Like, this is how I build these things out, right? So can you tell me more about the Pomodoro technique? For productivity tracking and monitoring. And then my approach is honestly just really straightforward. If it's named after an individual, then like it's like that their method is effective enough to break through and give themselves a name for them to name it after themselves, right? So sure, the Pomodoro technique is a popular time management method that uses time intervals to boost focus and productivity. Here's a breakdown. The core idea: work in focused bursts called Pomodoros, 25 minutes each with short breaks in between. Each Pomodoro is dedicated to a single task, minimizing distractions and multitasking. Why it works: combats attention fatigue, frequent breaks prevent burnout and maintain focus, improves task estimation, breaking down tasks into Pomodoros helps gauge their complexity, and promotes accountability. The ticking timer creates a sense of urgency and keeps you on track. How to use the Pomodoro technique: 1. Choose a task. Select a single task to focus on during the Pomodoro. 2. Set a timer. Use a physical timer or dedicated app to set the Pomodoro duration of 25 minutes. 3. Work on the task. Focus solely on the task until the timer rings. Avoid distractions like emails or social media. 4. Take a short break. Reward yourself with a 5-minute break to stand up, stretch, or grab a quick snack. 5. Repeat. After 4 Pomodoros, take a longer break of 15 to 20 minutes before starting another cycle. Cool. this seems pretty cool to me. Tools and apps, yeah, there's apps, so we're gonna create our own, right? Um, so I like this, right? So and then this is why I like to like brainstorm these things out and to go through this and to get like the idea of like what we're gonna build in the end. So now like I'm again like I've wanted to stay away from this because I don't want like a monitoring tool very specifically, but this like Pomodoro technique seems like very more along the lines and in line with something that I would be looking to build out. So we're going to put as part of the corporate Iron Dome, we're going to build a package that is a blend, and we're going to see what comes out of this, a blend of the Pomodoro technique with keyboard and app monitoring. And then so the next approach from here, we'll keep Bard open in case we want to come back to this because there's some good stuff in there. But we're going to go with Chat with GPT. Or Chat with Bard. Or Bing, sorry. Alright, we'll just call it Bing Chat. That's how I have it here. Whoa. There we go. This is what I'm looking for. And then so with Bing Chat very specifically, what is if you're like if you might not have full access to this. I don't think this is rolled out 100% to all people yet, but in your like Bing Chat, it's part of Copilot now, and then so within Copilot, they have this notebook mode, so it's like your traditional Bing, right? If you're familiar with it, and then the three things like the more creative, more balanced, and then more precise. But then you've got this option to notebook, right? So click the notebook here, and then this gives us kind of like this big window and this huge context window of 18,000, and then it'll create and then give us our same thing. And it's the same thing of like 5 prompts, right? Or 5 like things that we can do within the chat. And then so we're gonna say like to create a productivity app or a Pomodoro technique app that also tracks keystroke performance during a given Pomodoro and it gamifies this process. Should be able to execute directly from a Google Colab environment. Just trying to think if there's anything else before I want to include in this before, so I'm just thinking it over and taking a look. Pomodoro app allows keystroke, tracks keystrokes, performance, execute directly from Google Colab environment. It should also have a visual interface of some kind. This should be written in Python. Cool. And then I just hit Shift return or Shift Enter there just to get it to execute. And now we're gonna wait for it to generate its tokens. Creating a Pomodoro technique app with keystroke performance tracking and gamification in Python is a great idea. However, creating a GUI directly in a Google Colab environment can be challenging due to its limitations. Yes, I know that. Instead, you can create a text-based interface that works well in a Colab notebook. Here's a basic structure of how your code might look. Okay, so let's start here. Let's take a look at this code, see what happens. And then so again, I'll go through like kind of like exactly what I would do here. And then so the very first thing I would do is just like take what it said here and say, okay, please note that this is a very basic structure. Doesn't include the actual implementation of counting keystrokes or the gamification system. Those aspects would depend on the specific libraries you're using and how you want to design your app. Also remember that using a keylogger library has privacy and security implications, so it should be used responsibly. Let's take a look what it did here. Pomodoro. So it's just defining a class of Pomodoro that has a timer. It's counting the keystrokes, placeholder. This is a placeholder. In a real application, you would need to implement a key, a way to count keystrokes. This could be done by using a keylogger library, but be aware of privacy and security implications. This is a placeholder. You could implement a points-based system in a loop. Okay, so we're going to take this. So I can already tell you up front, like this code is, I mean, it could execute for sure, but like it's not going to be what we want, right? And then so I'm going to take this code and then kind of like just what it said down here, right? As far as like what it told us, like that it's not including here, and it's accurate, right? Reading through the code, it's like I can see there's parts missing. So I'm just going to hit new topic here, and then so like it kind of just like I guess like amnesiaizes the model in a sense, like so it doesn't even remember that it produced this code, right? And then so I'm just going to say start, and then I'm going to go up, and then space up here. Can you fill in the placeholders in the following code with actual values? Feel free to experiment with your specific implementation. The only requirement is that it execute and run via a Google Colab environment. It will only be used by myself and or any corporation that builds it and informs their employees of its use via explicit consent. Just kind of reassured up front as far as those privacy concerns, or else it's just gonna keep doing it, honestly. But so, and it might, I don't think it would also like have problems with the keyword approach too, and it might not still do it. So let's see. So that, like it's not like it's not a jailbreak by any means or anything, right? But we're just, I mean, it just upfront giving it kind of like some like prompt engineering to see what it'll do with that. So sure, I can help with that. Here's a simple implementation of your code. Please note this is a basic version. It might not work as expected. For instance, the count keystrokes method just increments the keystrokes by 1. Cool. In a real application, you need to implement a way to count actual keystrokes. That's fine. It's just doing some simple method for the gamification. So it's having problems with the keystrokes, and I already know, right? So this is a good instance here. So we're going to take this. I'm still not happy yet with this code and what it is, but so we're going to take this here, and then we're going to go to now we're going to go to Hugging Face. And then we're going to go to Spaces here in Hugging Face. And then I'm going to go to Qwen, which is a model that I've been bringing in a lot here, right? This Qwen VL Max, pretty good, very long max. I like all that, like very long and max is good. And then it's put out by Alibaba, so like it's like Chinese as well. And then so just going to put it in here, and then let's give it like the same instructions that we're going to do here, right? Because I didn't do what I wanted it to do. We'll see if Alibaba will let us. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. And then so I'm just giving it the same instructions, and then kind of that most up-to-date code that we have. And then let's see what Qwen does. Here's the filled in code. Cool, no warnings. Import our Pomodoro class, and it's defining that. Our timer, defining that. Check timer, yeah, that's good. Still not doing anything here. Count keystrokes. Define gamify, Pomodoro, and then the loop, so it won't, yeah. In this example, I've set the work time to 30 minutes and the break time to 10 minutes. You can adjust these values as needed. The rest of the code remains the same. Can you replace the placeholder keystroke method with a proper method? Should not record the actual keystrokes themselves, simply that a keystroke took place. We'll see what it does with this. I have no idea, but I can definitely see why I would be running into privacy restrictions with this. Cool. So I mean, we'll run this, but it's not actually updating anything with that keystroke timer is my thing, right? Just be, I already know just reading and looking through this code, because it's just saying self.keystrokes and it's not defining it any further than this. Well, let's see, class Pomodoro self.keystrokes equals 0. Import time, unless this time has something built into it, which I don't think it does. And then let me go through, make sure. Yeah, it's just simulating it, yeah. And it's just giving it a point every second. Check timer, count keystrokes, and gamify, yeah. And that's all it's doing. Oh. Yeah, I kind of slid that in there. I was just seeing if it would do anything, increase try. It's not doing anything, and so that's all our app does at this point is just this simple loop, right? Of doing this, and so this is not what we want. And so it's kind of clear to me at this point that Qwen isn't going to do this either. So we're going to have to, and Bing's not going to either, I already know. And then so we could try Bard. Let's see what Bard does. So let's go here. And then maybe if we tell Bard, we'll tell Bard all of the stuff about we're really privacy conscious and blah, blah, blah. But so yeah, let's see. I'm not expecting a lot from this. I'm expecting honestly the same exact thing with the same exact result, or we're just gonna get it where it's gonna simulate the keystroke increase, but we'll see. Oh no, import keyboard. Okay. Import the keyboard library for keystroke counting. Go Bard. See, so this is why you never know, right? I was about to just go with completely different models, but I can already know just from the import method that it's importing this new. Yeah, see, access the global keyboard object. Okay, cool. There we go. Now this looks better. Cool. So our code looks improved. So we're going to go here, and we're going to replace, just fully replace our code simulator here. Our Pomodoro simulator, kind of worthless. And then, yeah, so BART errors out more often, because it's saying that this module, null module named keyboard, which the first thing that we're going to do, just so going through, is kind of like, this is to me like the coding version of turning it off and on. So we're going to pip install keyboard. I don't know if there's, yeah, there's a package called keyboard. Cool. Yay. So we turn it off and on again, and then that worked. And then so now we're going to hit play again. Yay. And then so now it's past that. And then Bard's code is kind of wacky here. I can see that already. Activate keyboard, start recording. I didn't like that. Why? No such file. Okay, no such file repository dump keys, which is fine. So it's this is cool, right? So let's say here, let's say we'll go back to Bard because Bard actually did it. So we're gonna say this code, and then we're gonna give it the code, just like this. And I'm gonna say just throwing this error, and I'm gonna give it the error. And then so I have an idea of why it's throwing this error and what we need to do here. And then so I'm just going to say as well, give it the code and the error. And then I'm going to say, can you create CSV file in the code. Actually, no such. That's dump keys. It might be. That's actually something like something different. So let's see what it says. So I'll just give it the code in the error. Alright, cool. It's not available in Colab. A few workarounds. JavaScript. Yeah, let's do that. Within Colab to capture keystrokes in the browser. This avoids reliance on dump keys. Running locally. Okay, yeah, so it's going with that JavaScript approach, but which is cool and fine. And then so it's telling us. So we're just gonna copy this in because it's doing the lazy way. And then so we could tell it like fiddle around with it, like can you like redo this and then do this, but so it just wants us to put in that Pomodoro class. So all of this whole thing here, this class called Pomodoro. And we're just gonna whoa, bro, go here, this class called Pomodoro. Pop that in, saying that already is the same. Define count keystrokes. Use JavaScript. Okay, cool. I really want that. Define a function. Pomodoro keystrokes. Define new count line. Define count keystrokes. Lazy Bard. Let's make sure. Define count keystrokes. That's the same thing, right? Cool. Go down here. Define count keystrokes. Count new lines. Define count keystrokes. I'll define count new line, and then so from there, could define count new line. So it goes to where's what? This is why I hate when it does the. Now I'm confused. But we should put this. Define a function to be called kind of new line. And we've got our thing here. I'm going to mess something up with this. Oh, we've already got our Pomodoro function. So it probably doesn't need this. Hopefully this is good. We're going to think this is good. I think this is good. No, this is, like how you do it. So let's go. Unexpected indent. That's fine. Like that one. Do. It's really this to find out. I think, wait. Possibly because we don't want this. Oh, and then possibly because it's Java. Maybe I just messed that up. Yes, put that back in. And as long as it doesn't like this indent, yeah, okay, whatever. I have to indent it. No, it doesn't like this indent because of that. These are weird issues, just weird indent issues. Java, I'm not familiar with Java as well. Already satisfied. Keyboard start recording. No such file for dump keys. Yeah, so let's do what I was thinking originally, which is we take this and we get rid of it. So we do this and we do this. No. Search file dump keys. Okay. So I like this in there. Let's put that back because this is creating a global global keyboard command, and this is returning like the self strokes, and then some just like down here it's the self, and then this is global, and then so I don't know, it's just like I just feel like it's good to leave it in, and then so this is creating errors, and then so Bard's code creates errors, but Bard got us through the problem that we were having, right, which is that these models just wouldn't do this, right? So you optimize this code and rewrite it so that it runs correctly in a Google Colab environment without errors. And let's just give it this up front, and let's see if it's, I'm assuming that it's going to be able to detect what the errors are up front, but we'll see. Maybe I'm giving it too much credit, but I don't think so. I think it didn't want to put in like a key, it didn't want to give us the key logging function, which makes sense. see it really. Yeah, see it's still on there. But I already have the code, right? So it's just copying the code. It's like, okay, I could just copy your existing code, which is fine. That's what I figured it would do. Cool. This code will run indefinitely until many stuff. So I figured, yes, that's good. That's fine. Dude. Hey there. Doing something. Whoa. Running and doing something, but it's not actually recording any these keystrokes that are being entered. Like, it's not incrementing the score or the points, so it's not. Which is a function of the JavaScript here. So we're gonna want it to update the JavaScript, which makes sense, right? Bard's code is kind of error-y, but I got the sense that it Bing really didn't want to update this JavaScript. It just didn't want to. I could tell. I think I get a feeling that Quinn's gonna be more okay with updating that JavaScript. So let's see. I could be wrong. So let me think of exactly what I want to tell Quinn to do. I'm going to give it the code. I'm going to say, can you update this code so that it actually increments the score when it detects a keylog, a keystroke from my keyboard on my computer. The JavaScript seems to not be updating properly. So I'm just telling it very specifically to look at the JavaScript because I already know that's where it needs to look. And then that's what I want it to update, and so I'm just telling it up front and explicitly, like, I want you to update that JavaScript code. So let's see what it does. Here's an updated version. Import time, class Pomodoro. And especially, I don't know JavaScript very well, so I'm like really wanting it to update this JavaScript code. Use JavaScript. It's more than was there before. I know that. Penchild. So it's doing more stuff. Yeah, define the function from the JavaScript. It's not doing anything more there. And it's doing a little bit more with the JavaScript. In this version, the count keystroke function is now defined as a callback that will be called from JavaScript whenever a keystroke is detected. Count new line function has been removed, and the count keystrokes function is now registered with the comment manager using the correct name. Cool. That makes sense. Thanks. So we're going to go here, and then we're going to just replace this because that doesn't really do a lot still. And now we're getting count keystrokes missing one, required positional argument key. Maybe. Yeah. But it's not actually like logging it's just looping now. Okay, so it's just looping. And interrupted, but so it's working, but it's just looping, right? And then I'm not 100%. I think, I mean, I was guessing with that one in there, but I'm guessing that maybe it could be that we need to update that. Let's refresh Bart here. Give Bart a new opportunity to clear its code fully. And then say this code executes but does not seem to be executing properly. I would like it to monitor and detect keystrokes from my keyboard and increase the score only if a keystroke that I make is detected. It's okay to make the code display a text box within the JavaScript execution that I type into, which is then registered as the keystroke. So I'm kind of just giving it like the approach that I have in my head for what I'm thinking, like one way to do this is, and then there's multiple ways to do it, right? But just giving it like explicitly, like, okay, like, hey, maybe you could try this, and then we'll see what it does with that. Cool. Yeah, just making sure I give it the right code. Here's corrected code. Lazy, Bart being lazy. Okay. So we want to make this exact same, yeah. So bar's not doing a lot. And then all you're doing then is just updating the while true function. Okay. I'm doing something there. And this, like, rather than me giving the one, I'm just gonna like, cause I don't know if that's the right way to handle that. I just know that it works. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's what I figured. Like, it's good that I asked rather than just put the one in there. So it's having us update that while true function again. I think it's because it's I have this count this in here. No. This should be called for, okay. No, okay. it's producing this error. So let's ask Bart again. So we'll clear its memory again. This code. Is producing this error. And let's copy this error over. So we're getting a lot closer. You can see this code's getting like bigger and bigger, right? Like, and we're almost there. Like, we're going through, and it's just like the last like 4 lines. Like, there's only like 4 more lines where it could possibly do anything wrong with. So. Yes, I knew something with that. Wow, so you're doing some work here. You're saying define the setup listener down to that Pomodoro keystrokes. And here, so you're saying this, okay. Okay, we just renamed it. Cool. And then this while true function. Gotta rename it down there, makes sense. Ooh. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay, so now we're a lot closer, right? We got almost what I wanted to do, but it's not incrementing the score in any way now. So I'm just going to give it the code. I'm going to say this code is working and executing, except it is not actually increasing the points whenever I type anything in the box. Oh yeah, that's fine. It's descriptive of what it's doing. Calls keystroke function successfully. Calls correct. Kernel's correct. So you're not going to do anything. You don't know. Add this within the while loop. Let's take a look. All true. And then what was the other thing that said? And it said to also update this, the add listener, for our keystrokes. separately within the JavaScript. Here, like this. It's all messed up now. I feel like it's, I guess. Let's see. Invalid syntax on this. Oh, that's telling me, okay. So I know. That's telling me that this is Java as well. So I didn't know. So then we're gonna go and then we're gonna just copy this up. And then let's go back to Quinn, I think. Actually, in this instance, like, so we're running into some issues here. So let's call in like a new guy. And then so let's go to Claude. Give it a second here, and we're just gonna copy that in, and then we'll just take these same instructions that we gave Bard, and just say same thing that we told Bard there. Maybe, yeah. Directly incrementing the Pomodoro keystrokes counter, but this won't work because the Python Pomodoro object and okay. Okay. Python count keystrokes function is registered to be called from JavaScript, but it never actually called. Yeah, that makes sense. So here's one way to fix it. So we're going to take this define keystroke listener, and update the function there. I will do that, sir. Thank you for updating my Java. Looked like it was just a small little change there, but that's how Java works. So I think that this would definitely run if it was, I think at this point we could get it to work if it wasn't in a Colab environment. Yeah, I bet. But let's just try it one more time. I think that's what our issue is. So I think at this point we got it to where we can, as far as Colab goes, which is pretty cool, and this is a good point then to end the video, right? And then that's just like one of these things that you'll know that you're going to run into eventually at a certain point, is that sometimes like running this in Colab isn't going to like give you the same exact it's not going to replicate fully like running it within a local environment, because like there's restrictions within the Colab environment, right? Especially like around like keystroke recordings and things like that. And then there's restrictions overall when we get into this keystroke recording idea anyway, which is kind of why it's kind of a hard thing to build out overall. But this gives us a sense, and it gives me a sense of now how to build out this app, which is not hard at all as far as like the actual back end to build it out, which makes sense. You use JavaScript for the actual listener, and then you can pad the rest around with Java, and then or with Python, and then get exactly what you need. And then so ours also has a built-in Pomodoro timer here as well, which will so it'll run for that your work time, and then it'll give you a break time as well. And then we tried to implement some sort of gamification within it as well. But yeah, so here's our little simple app. And then so this gives you an idea, right, of going from code to from inception to code. You see articles likely that like ChatGPT is not going to take all of the coding jobs away anytime soon. You've probably seen it within this video as to why. It's still it's error prone overall, a lot of debugging overall still, but it does still save time as far as the code, right? We've written a lot of code and we've gone through a lot of iterations of this code, so it definitely saves time, but you have to know what you're doing. There was a lot of instances, right, where it's I'm still doing the logical guesswork. I'm not there was very few instances where I'm just straight copy and pasting it and without any explanation or any sort of thought around what could be causing the error, and then some giving it still guidance along the way and things like that. So it's more if you're just copy pasting the code, you're still gonna have a hard time overall with coding. So you still it's not going to replace someone that doesn't know how to code either, is the other thing. As far as where we're at overall would be where I would end this video. And then so I'll name this collab, and I'll link it in the video as well. So if anybody wants to take a look at it or play around with it outside of the video for this app that we've made as well, I'll definitely link to it. I won't use this app outside of this video, but this gives you kind of the we've built an app that works and it does function, right? I have to manually stop it, but it'll function and work to an extent until we manually stop it, and then we could update and we can go further and iterate further the manually stopping and make it more production ready. But this gives you an idea, right? Just from inception to code and then utilizing the AI to code. So yeah, if that's the concept, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.